It's a new session of Poker Time. We got some new players. Get ready for them, Grant. That's right. It's Andrew Neeme. It's Brad Owen. Vlogger Superstars.
There's Brad on the left and Andrew on the right.
Joseph is surrounded. He's in the Vlogger sandwich. Is that okay to say?
I don't know.
I'm not sure either. It's kind of a superstar lineup there. There's Brewer. We got Jake. We got Wonka. These guys are legit.
They are.
Ish.
They're good players.
Yeah, no, they are. They're absolutely all good players.
What do you mean legit-ish?
Been pros. There's Batiste. Won a World Series circuit event. Snuggie. He wears different kinds of shirts. So we can say that about him.
All right. So far, we're seeing how Brad plays, limping the queen deuce off.
Sure. $5. Getting 3-1 right away. And he flops a deuce.
Flops a deuce. Is he going to protect? He is.
Sure. Hard to flop a pair, as they say.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to play at this point. If I go.
Nice small pot. Raking it in.
The vloggers are 1-0.
I think this is going to make a really good video for him.
Brad's going to make a long video about that one.
Maybe a nice a vlog as well.
Yeah.
Blog post. Sounds good.
Yeah, it's not live. There's a game?
No, but we actually are quite excited to have both Brad and Andrew Neeme on the show, to be clear. And you're going to be here for the next several episodes of Poker Time, and we'll enjoy them.
Final table like a couple of years ago.
It's a classic stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry.
Good friends with everybody.
Yep. Friendly guys.
Yes, they really are.
It
Quite
used
friendly.
to be the place. It's from the area of town where that's a large place on the stage.
Talking about the local Portland clubs here.
Yep.
That was sort of their niche.
There's Jake, not wearing any sheep this time, but still fashionable.
As Jonathan has once called him, Jake-a-lish.
Yeah. I
Jake was
abbreviated
walking
it.
up to Jonathan, and it's kind of like if you guys have seen I Love You Man, where Paul Rudd can't think of a nickname for Jason Segel. Jake's walking up, and Jonathan's like, "Hey, Jake-a-lish."
Yeah. Did that in front of a whole bunch of people and regretted it pretty fast, I'm not going to lie. There we go. We got a little something brewing.
All right, we got Brad and Andrew against Jake. Jake, who has gotten second in a World Series of Poker event.
Yes, indeed.
That is an incredible flop for Brad.
Yes, it is. Top, and the nut flush draw.
Andrew could decide to choose this as a check raise spot, but
with 3 hearts, I doubt it.
He probably won't, so Brad might just not get any action here.
Yeah, Andrew folds pretty much right away. Jake, he's got Jake behind him, too. Jake could decide to call with the pair and the bad flush draw, but just staying out of the way. Jake a little notoriously nitty, I would say.
Well, according to Batiste, I think Batiste has kind of written the narrative on that one.
I think, though, we've seen examples of Jake being nittier than most players in our game.
Yeah.
In the past. Not, I don't say that as a critique, by the way. Just as more of a acknowledgement of strategy.
He's a good player.
Absolutely. He's successful. He's good.
I'll give you more.
He's not the guy you hope for when you sit down at a poker cash game table, right? You don't really want him sitting at your table. You prefer other guys who are worse.
Oh, crap.
He's still complaining.
Like I said, this is sort of a murderer's row of Poker Time players. About as good as it gets, give or take, anyway.
Yep.
Give or take.
Pretty nitty, and then some of them are pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Most of these guys play reasonable ranges. Most of these guys think about the game. A bunch of these guys have been pros or are pros.
Lost 2 bullets, so I feel like that's like a
And we have Snuggie.
Raising to 40 with the ace-4 off and the hijack.
And are we going to get... Oh, we're definitely going to get a defense here from Brewer. Let's see if Snuggie gives him any trolling. He does a lot of that.
You just kind of right there. It was a real piece of shit.
I had my left hand under the table, and it's awkward.
Some sort of trolling. I don't know if it was effective.
Yeah. Whole lot of nothing for everybody.
Snuggie's probably just going to win this one. It's not a great flop.
Nope.
To be continuing on against Brewer's range there, but
Brewer's going to be defending
fine.
a lot of hands.
It was a big bet, though. He didn't need to make it so big. It was a pot-sized bet almost.
Was it 30?
60 into 65.
Oh, wow, yeah, that is really big.
Yeah.
Well, it got the job done.
The first one we went to.
I'll say that.
Whiskey Cornelius something.
Rob, don't you know about beer?
I do.
I think they're talking about YouTube regulations.
They're talking about beer.
You got to.
No, I used to.
No, you used to
Basically
work.
the same
for a
thing.
brewery.
Talking about just on the road.
Road.
What? So did Grant, right? Grant used to work for Road.
Hey, they're talking about me.
But not as long.
Are they?
Yes.
Brad got a really
Just
weird
because they know a guy named Grant now. Every Grant is you, apparently.
Dandelion or what?
Snuggie again. He's moving up in the world from ace-4 to ace-6.
Yeah, Marion Barry.
Makes it 35 instead of 40 this time.
Was that
Do you guys like
the place
that?
you got that weird one?
Do you like sours?
I like sours.
There's a really
Getting
cool
folds.
spot, like right by my house called Cascade. You should check
And
it out.
will Jake defend?
Yeah, like
Doesn't look
You
like
can
it.
do like tasters, like really
6-5
small,
off,
and they have
not good
tons of
enough.
stuff.
How does he know?
Cascade
He was
Brown.
dominating.
Very
Good
awesome.
session for Snuggie so far.
Amazing.
He's crushing them.
Really interesting stuff.
You can get a bunch of nut
They're
peddlers
now
down here.
like
Oh.
that's actually
Yeah,
really those are
like
really
the
high
Indians
quality
game I've ever
sours.
seen.
Calling people nut peddlers.
It's
This
pretty
guy
early.
hasn't played a hand.
Like kind of like
Didn't you like run around there a
Cascade is
couple
also
of tournaments
close
or
to
something like that
culmination
somewhere
of
sometime?
Yeah, he
don't
folded
think
it.
so.
He's
But
so
like
tight. He
their
folded his big
pairs
blind.
You folded it right out of
Heads
the
up.
blinds and everything?
This one.
I remember that. Something, I
Those are
used
the
to
sour.
fold big
Tastes like
blinds all the
vinegar.
time.
link.
tastes like vinegar.
Yeah.
Strong slam.
It sounds like it tastes like something was wrong with it.
Everyone's in pretty good humor early
Yeah.
on.
Maybe anything was wrong.
Snuggie trolling everybody already.
Could be
Yep.
the, you know,
But
It was just that it was
not too bad.
No, you take the
It's
chips.
just
No,
strange.
you take the chips.
Relatively low
I don't
level.
want them.
Batiste seemingly enjoying it.
Quite a
I
bit.
don't know,
Yeah, that was
sounds
a
right.
bit of a hearty laughter
Yeah,
there
yeah.
And also the former mayor
from the
of Washington,
denim
D.C.
Denim Jesus.
denim Jesus. Yeah, I was gonna call him the denim god, but
Most notable because
Are you guys all Seahawks?
Not quite.
Pretty much except for you?
Nope.
Hey, ace 4 against ace 4.
will Wonka
really
defend
have a
ace
game.
4?
Yes.
I used to.
He gave a look for a second, like maybe I won't even defend.
This is when you find out who the
Something-
better player
Worse.
is, Jonathan.
No, like I was born in Switzerland originally, so when I moved and I was a kid, my first friend was a Pittsburgh.
Well,
Steelers
nobody
fan.
flopped anything. If
Not really.
Andrew decides to continue,
By
which I
default,
don't
because
imagine he
it's-
will.
Yeah, I
on
like
this
this
board.
check for sure. This
As
is
I
a good
grew
check
older,
back by Andrew.
and I just can't root.
Well,
for the
Wonka
guy
picks
that
up a very bad flush draw.
did it.
Anybody can have this
Roethlisberger?
pot.
Yeah.
And I think
Wonka's
it'll
gonna
be
take
Wonka.
it. Wonka knows he's got a range advantage here. So does
He
Andrew.
raped women.
This is how this hand's supposed to play out,
Yeah,
even though, as it turned out, they had the same hand, and Wonka wanted it more.
it's all about
to root
heart
for
and
any
commitment.
team when you look into their
I
personal lives.
wasn't trying to go there. He asked me why.
appropriate.
Yeah.
And let me get you a true feminine.
That has nothing to do with
So what do
it.
you think? Do you think the guys are going to adjust to the
Glad we
vloggers
got
more, give
Mike
them a little bit more
talk
space
about
because they have this fame surrounding them a little bit?
No, I mean that's changed.
I don't know, actually. That's a really good question. I think I think the way it normally goes with these things, and we can speak from experiences, some people go after you a little bit more, and some people stay out of your way a little bit more. And I guess
Yeah.
it's going to be the same. It's going to be sort of an individual player thing. What do you
Yeah,
think?
I think so. I think Snuggie will go after him more.
Yep.
I think.
What's next?
I don't think
Who
it'll
wants-
affect Wonka or Jake specifically. Those guys are kind of robotic.
In terms of the range that
Yeah.
they play and how they play them.
Yeah. Brewer might try to play a bit more against them because he likes to mess around with people.
I know Brewer is a big fan of Andrew Neeme, and he
Yeah.
watches all of his vlogs. So in theory, that could be a good opportunity where he's on his left.
Yeah.
He could be able to sort of punish Andrew. We'll see if he does
Man,
or
if we
tries
actually had
to.
Jason here, that'd be a pretty,
Wait,
that'd
wait.
actually be a fruitful conversation.
Jason Adams.
He was like,
No,
Jason Adams thinks the Earth is
no,
flat.
no. His name's Eugene Jason. We call him Flat Earth Jason. because
Eugene Jason.
He's from Eugene.
Imagine that.
We call him Flat Earth Jason because it's like he just. I mean, I love talking about it with him just because he can defend it really
But
well.
there was a time that you found
God,
out
how
you
can
were
you
in this house.
defend that? Come
You said-
on.
You said, I'm not going to agree
Let's
with
get
you, but I'm just
Eugene
going to
Jason
concede
down.
that you've researched your side more than I have.
Yeah. I mean, when they got their facts locked and loaded, like it is hard to debate them.
Can we please get him here?
I don't know his number, but I would love if he was here.
Eugene Jason?
The moon
actually-
landing has
Comment
to be
below.
The flat Earth
staged
website's pretty legit.
to be a flat Earth.
Oh yeah, I mean, I feel like I can argue.
It's well put together.
I feel like I can argue Flat Earth pretty well.
Is it worth a read?
It is worth a read.
What?
You should the flat Earth
argument?
website. No, the flat Earth.
How
you should
valuable
read
is your time?
It is.
The
It's
official website.
it's
They have an official
interesting.
website.
I mean,
Well, there's a
I
society
can argue it
that
pretty
we
well.
can play
Oh
on.
yeah, there's a lot of people out there.
We're just going to let that one sit there. Big old Flat Earth discussion. We love it.
I got a real piece of shit.
Batiste has a bad hand, apparently. According to Batiste.
I'm going to try 25.
You can win.
No big pots so far, but we did have a Flat Earth discussion. Apparently, some player who's not here is a big-time Flat Earther.
Eugene Jason,
Yeah.
apparently.
And Jake claims that Eugene is good at defending the Flat Earth theory.
Jake went a little further than that, I think.
Jake's not saying he's a Flat Earther.
Jake didn't say that,
Yeah?
but he did say
Ancient
that,
aliens.
Start a
hard-
new YouTube channel.
that they can really defend it pretty well.
Well, I can
Just
I
saying.
can pretty much destroy it right now.
Which ones are you?
Show me pictures
Here
of
we
the
go.
ice wall.
Top three.
Why is nobody
Yeah,
taking
I do
pictures
like
of the ice wall?
I am interested in it. So JFK, I like.
Yeah,
I like
of course. Classic.
that one. I like 9/11 conspiracies.
That's
Like
a
you
little
believe
more
it,
out
or you just
there.
enjoy the.
I just enjoy learning the theories.
Okay.
So you
I don't necessarily believe them.
You don't subscribe to the magic bullet
The magic bullet.
for
I think
Kennedy.
that I think there were multiple shooters. So
I think it's more likely that it ricocheted 9 times in his brain.
And then came out.
And they came.
think it was a venereal
Another
disease
light
going on.
topic.
Probably.
Assassination.
You know, we get good microphones and
Yeah.
everything goes
Conspiracy
crazy.
talk. Yeah.
Well, even if the poker's boring, at least the conversation will be good.
Good point, Batiste.
You could always just 3-bet every hand, bet too.
I can't.
Brewer just
can.
keep rolling
It's
Brad
a choice.
Owen
It's a
there
choice.
about
Is
the
it?
JFK assassination.
It's a matter of will.
I'll start.
All right, we got an open ender for Neeme here, and Wonka's still with 2 8s.
Wonka has a pretty good hand on this board.
No.
Of course, Neeme flops quite well.
Nick guy's with us.
I'll do it. I will drink an hour 3.
Are you fetching beverages?
I'm not fetching, I'm drinking beverages.
Wonka certainly
Well,
won't be
they have-
folding
they have
here. The
they
question
have
is
waitresses.
if Neeme's going to continue betting on
But if you're
turn
getting
cards
nothing
that
on
don't
that
improve him.
No, I have the same problem.
How frequently will Wonka continue on which cards?
Yep. I mean, I think I expect Neeme to continue a lot, and there's
Wait, Nick's
just going to be some cards Wonka's going to have to fold. That's a candidate if Neeme decides to
Neeme could
continue.
have, Queen 10, Queen Jack, King, Queen, Ace, Queen, all those hands.
Yep.
He could also have had Wonka beat on the flop.
Damn it, you figured
The
it
question
out.
is, are 8s too good to fold still?
I don't know if they are. Let's see what the sizing is because Neeme is continuing here.
Looks like 180.
Got to bring somebody over.
So he's betting kind of big-ish, although this is normal cash game sizing for sure.
This is more likely to work early in the session
Yes.
than later in the session.
Also, Neeme known for being pretty tight, I would say,
Oh, yeah. All right. What the hell brings you to this game?
and pretty solid. So there aren't that many bluffs he's really going to show up with here. Maybe Jack 10, maybe 8-7, it's maybe 4-5 suited. There's not too much.
There's a bunch of math going on in Wonka's head right now. He's trying to figure out where in his distribution he's falling.
He's like Russell Crowe in front of that
At this point, it's
chalkboard.
going to be me.
Yeah.
And he does decide to make the call. He's got to be thinking he's going to have to fold to most rivers, though.
Oh, it
No, I
absolutely.
played one. I folded.
Can't feel good when you make the call. That's a pretty good river, though.
That is not a good run out for Neeme to rep anything. Now he's repping mostly trips when he bets again.
Yeah. He's repping trip queens are better if he bets, and he
Yeah.
decides when Wonka calls the turn, he's going to be stationing more on the
Right.
river.
Wonka's got a lot of pocket 10s, 9-10 suited, ace-9 suited type
Exactly.
hands that he's not going to be folding on that run out. And maybe 8s is a call when the queen pairs on the river as well.
I'm not sure if it is or not, honestly.
Buttons on
It comes down
sides.
to sizing, and I imagine Wonka would probably fold this early in the session if Neme's going to
Probably.
fire 3 barrels, but
gotta get
I understand why
$30
Andrew gave
in
up there. I think I would too.
You would give yourself a little pause because it doesn't necessarily have to be just trip queens that Andrew's betting there. I mean, if he had aces or kings, maybe even jacks, he might
You're right.
take a triple barrel line because Wonka doesn't have many queens in his range there except for queen 9 suited if he even has that.
That's fair, but then it's hard to come up with hands you're going to get called by. You're hoping
Right.
to get called by just a 9 mostly, right?
Yeah.
Which is tough.
No.
Our small.
That said, if we think we're not going to get called by many hands, we could bluff more.
Yeah, no, it's
So it
too
goes
far
both
around
ways.
here.
Yep.
It's a hard
Fridays,
thousand.
half the time. Saturdays, a third of the time. It's pretty rad.
So first
Well,
blood has been
this-
drawn. That's the first
is your range.
significant pot.
Vlogger blood on the felt.
Did they bleed red? I can't see anything.
Yeah,
Is it-
I don't
it's
know.
Clear. I guess it's
we need
clear
better.
blood.
We need better cameras.
Got better sound. The cameras could use improvement.
So Batiste is opening 3 high in the cutoff. I know it's suited.
Talk earlier.
Still notable.
Maybe Sluggy's nut
Please,
peddler
go for
comments
it.
have been getting to him.
Maybe. Well, Batiste flops best.
It's not a comfortable flop, but it's better than average for this hand.
Yes, it is. We didn't have a backdoor spade draw as Batiste. and he's-
Anytime you get called, you're pretty much shutting it down, though.
Yeah.
I got it.
He gets just what he wants. Shows the 3.
Oh, boy.
Got it.
He shows both
Oh,
cards.
yeah.
You just showed everyone.
paying
so
him
hard.
off.
Wants people to know they should call him. He's trying to pretend he's a loose guy, although he is kind of a loose guy.
Sometimes he's a loose guy, sometimes he's a
never
tight
had
guy.
it.
Batiste,
Yeah.
more than anybody, gauges how the
had it
table
that
is
time.
playing and tries to play the opposite way.
Chameleon.
Kind of the opposite of a chameleon. He tries to play the opposite way.
No,
Chameleon.
don't show me that. Show me his knee
He
operation.
changes his, he changes his colors. Could be
Why
different
do you even
things
have that? Why are you watching it?
depending on the environment. Chameleon.
Anything for you.
Sluggy's got apparently some lewd picture
Some
there.
sort of gross knee operation picture that he's showing Batiste, maybe to try to get him to slow down, not open the deuce 3 anymore.
Brewer opening Queen Jack off under the gun. There you go. That's not something you'd
It
see
is
Jake
on
or Wonka
it is
do.
on Neme's big blind. Maybe he wants to play against Neeme, like you said.
Maybe. Batiste with the 7-4 suited.
Batiste is in loose mode. That's
Yes,
for sure.
he is.
I think he believes this is a tight game, except for Snuggy.
I think he's right so far anyway.
Yeah.
Neeme definitely should be calling there, and he does with the 9-8 suited.
A lot of opportunities. Nobody's blocking anything of each other's, and Snuggy flops best.
Brewer, though, flops a pretty good hand himself.
He
The
does.
second nut flush draw and second pair.
As you can see, he has half the equity.
It's pretty good. The most equity, in fact.
Yep. Snuggie won't be going anywhere, obviously.
Can't imagine. Is he folding?
I'm in a hand. What can I do?
Eagles at me.
I think he's folding. He just folds right
What?
away.
Why?
Wowzers.
I don't know.
he showed Batiste. You see Batiste's head right there? He's like, I don't know about that.
Stink eye.
That is a surprising fold and incorrect.
Well,
as it turns
it's
out.
great for Brewer. Gets
Yep.
to win without a fight.
Nobody wanted to go with.
I wanted to go.
Yeah,
but
Brewer must be sitting there thinking, well, I'm a little lucky. No one had an
Well,
ace
had I known,
or a
I
big
probably
or the king of
would've-
hearts.
Me too.
All right, we're back in Jake with
Premium.
this is what they call a primo holding,
you guys are
Top
playing at like family
five.
dinner.
Raise to 30.
not according to Phil Hellmuth.
What are you talking about?
Phil Hellmuth's top
Here we
top
go.
hands end with pocket eights and then ace king. That's how he does it.
Not true.
I swear. I
not
swear I've heard
true.
him say it.
Thank you. I think.
I will fight you on this.
I'm ready to fight.
Never know.
All
with
right,
you.
so Jake has the only real hand here. Snuggie's got a reasonable hand that can flop
Yeah.
pretty well.
And Joseph
Joseph
decided
just
to call the
decided to
button.
lose his mind.
Yeah, I don't know why, especially when Jake is opening under the gun. That seems like a bad idea. Hey, look. Jake flopped pretty well. Look at this. He's got a royal draw as well as the nuts.
It's hard. He's not going to get any action.
Well, he doesn't know that, though. Snuggie, by the way, is open-ended.
Yeah,
But
I like betting here.
Me too.
To be clear, I think a lot of players are going to show up with two pair or a pair and an open ender here.
or a flush draw.
Yeah,
I think we
They
should
can have
play
worse
show
flush
one.
draws. By the way, they can also flop some straights themselves.
that's very disappointing for Jake that he doesn't get any action there. That's a spot that's primed for a big pot a lot of the time when you flop like that and you don't block anything that other players could have, except for the nut flush draw.
Yeah.
I play your show too.
So much of
I
poker
say we play face
is
up.
about not just you flopping a big hand, but you need someone else to have
Everyone plays the
something
one
too to
card
stick
face up?
around or lose their mind.
That's
Yeah.
interesting, actually.
People aren't generally losing
I
their
kinda play
minds
our
in the
cards
first
face up
15
and
minutes of a
flop
session,
the
though.
turn.
And
Yeah.
You just
Yeah.
wanna
As
put
we've
it
seen,
in?
no
Yeah.
one's done anything crazy yet.
Roll them over and then you bet on that.
So wait, if you win,
Not
you
a
have
single
to show
thing,
it,
really,
or
right?
what?
but we've got a long ways to go here.
Oh,
You
yeah.
win the hand.
You win the hand, just show a card.
You got to show one card.
Oh, you hear that?
Yeah, they're going to play the show a card rule.
If we
Love
want,
it.
or who? What? The person or the other person gets?
The winner. The winner.
The winner can choose.
What if there's
or
no
let
flop?
someone choose.
No, whatever. No flop.
You
doesn't
still gotta do it.
Yeah, no.
Well, that's
No,
what
no,
I'm
not
saying.
enough.
I don't think
As long as it doesn't slow down the game.
Snuggie with a reasonable holding here.
You win a hand, you got to show one.
Sure.
No,
Yeah, no, win
Keep
the
this
flop.
simple.
Just if there's a
Gotta
flop
believe
like that.
Neeme's going
Only
to
if
at
there
least
was a
call.
flop.
Looks like he's pulling out 3-betting chips, though.
I like that.
Especially if he's ever watched Poker Time, he'll know Snuggie's
And
a
definitely
good
the
candidate to
winner gets
3-bet with a
picked
hand
otherwise.
like this.
Gotta imagine Brad and Andrew did their research on these players that they knew they were going to play against.
At least a little bit. At least an episode or two, which is probably all you need for some of these guys. Get a sense of it. We also love to talk about everyone's strategy.
Yep.
Is Snuggie gonna just throw this one away too, or is he gonna call? I think he's gonna throw it away.
That would be a normal thing to do.
Yep. Yeah, he's definitely throwing it away now when he makes the hand gripping gestures.
Voices.
There it is. Wait, no!
I think he just said voices, and then he put it in.
Yes.
The voices in his head made him do it.
All right, fair enough, Snuggie.
It's a reasonable holding,
Sure. We are out of position.
and he flops best. Very dry flop. Does have two hearts, but that doesn't usually become a factor. Andrew's going to be betting this the majority of the time. He has
Yeah,
a range
sure.
advantage here.
Absolutely.
Things are probably going to shut down unless Andrew improves.
Well, Andrew can improve to, just his equity can
Yeah.
improve in terms of like a 9 or a 10 or an ace. I assume he's betting, yeah, any Broadway card that isn't a jack and a
Right,
9,
because once Snuggie calls, he's only just hoping that Snuggie has a flush draw, and
Yeah.
that's not the majority of Snuggie's range, so
No.
it's going to be hard to get him off of a hand on this dry of a board.
Like Snuggie could have 2 10s and 2 9s, and we could try to get him to move off it, but I don't even know if that's a great idea.
Well, now Snuggie makes trips. Is he gonna? He's not gonna trap. It looks. He's gonna bet, and I don't think he's gonna get any value out
This
of
is
that one.
about as easy a fold as you could get. The hearts come in, trip jacks are there.
Show one.
Incredibly hard to get him to move off of something. Here's the show one spot.
No, we
See
just
if we can see the card.
Oh, it's a 9 of diamonds.
9 of diamonds.
See Andrew's face here. Ah, he doesn't like that.
Wasn't expecting that.
No,
Show.
Yeah, I don't
Sometimes
blame you.
it's better when
He-
he chooses.
It's okay, he had it, Andrew.
You were gonna see the Knight of Diamonds if I choose.
Oh. Chose wrong.
Love the show one rule, you know?
Yeah.
Get people a little tilty sometimes.
I mean, well, what else could Snuggy have but Jack 9 of diamonds there?
You have two
West
nines.
River or what?
2 9s, yeah, which Andrew's losing to anyway.
Yeah. Hard to
Did
come
not
up
have
with
it.
much else. That makes sense.
But especially with the whole pre-flop act, Snuggy wouldn't probably have done that with
Gave
2
up on
9s. I
the
don't think he was
turn.
doing a big act with a reasonable hand.
Could
you
he
know?
have 10-9 of diamonds and just been floating out of position? I mean,
No.
maybe, but there's no reason to. Whatever. If he's doing that, you're going to make a lot of money off
Yeah,
it.
I don't
That's
think
fine.
I don't think that's the case.
Go home, put it on repeat.
Going to be an open here for Brewer.
Yeah, Brewer would open this +1 probably, but on the on the
I don't
button he
know.
loves it.
I don't know if he would, but definitely on the button. Easy open on the button. And Wonka's going to be able to defend.
Yep, unsuited I believe he would fold, but suited,
Yep.
pretty clear defend.
I agree.
Good flop for Brewer there.
Yes. Nothing really happening for Wonka, so this is probably going to be over. He does have 2 back doors, but I just don't think it's enough to continue.
No, this is going to be a quick fold. Well, not so quick, I guess. Wonka's given a little stare down.
Wonka always gives a little bit of time before he does any actions. He's a pro. Just making sure.
Maybe his brain just works extra slow. Did you ever think of that?
I have thought of that. Believe me, I've thought of that.
Oh, I gotta pay closer attention. I missed
Because Wonka.
Wonka.
Yeah.
I mean, you've
Showed
seen
8 of
Charlie and the
spades.
Chocolate Factory. That guy is deranged.
Ace of spades. 6 of
There's
spades.
something wrong with that guy.
Which guy, Charlie or the Chocolate Factory?
That's it, I think.
Wonka.
I remember.
Willy Wonka.
Robbie, when's the last time you
The
played?
Johnny Depp version, actually, he is deranged.
Which is kind of just a modern interpretation, being like, how could this guy not be deranged?
I
Think about
suppose.
the scenario here.
Or it could just be they got Johnny Depp, and that's how Johnny Depp did it. 'Cause
Yeah.
that's what he
Because
does.
Johnny Depp's a weirdo. Yeah.
Yep. And here's Snuggy with the Jack 8. No, Snuggy.
What are the chances that Johnny Depp is drinking pig's
so
blood
long.
right now?
I
Something.
mean, it's higher than 1 in 1,000,
Yeah.
which is notable, right? Brewer's going to open this too. Totally standard.
Raise 35.
He would
Jake
love
makes
it
the
to be
face.
suited, but-
Jake was going to open the button, but realized he gets 3 better fold now and just gets rid of it.
Jake's a guy who's always disciplined. Chooses. Oh, Batiste calls the 3 deuce
No,
off.
no, no. Oh, he does call. Wow. He's loose, Batiste, apparently.
Robert Brewer has 2 back doors. Batiste has nothing. He has 1 back door, but
Probably
it's not
gonna go
good.
Check, though.
I guess he has 2 back doors as well. It's just the deuce high flush draw. The 9 means that it's going to be very hard for Batiste to win this hand. Brewer's probably calling down a lot of the time.
Batiste decides not to try. He knows that when Brewer checks back, he's often got a somewhat showdownable hand, and that 9 is going to get a call, which means now you're saying 2 streets minimum
Brewer
worth of bluffing to
just
get this through.
protecting his equity here. Now, if Batiste wanted to win this hand with 3 high, a check raise is definitely a better way to do it than leading the turn. So
Yeah.
that would have been interesting to see.
Check raise is going to work a lot there.
Yeah.
Right? Because Brewer has to be... Now, Brewer's the kind of guy, though, who will check overpairs on boards like that, too. We've seen him do it before
Yep.
on this show when we had our tournament, which he won for $20,000, where he had 9s and he was up against
It's a good strategy.
a very difficult player and checked like a 6-high board. Remember that in a big spot.
By difficult, you mean guy who always bets.
Yeah, a guy who's going to make your life hard instead
Yeah.
of going to play super straightforward and stuff like that. I think he checked back on the
Yeah,
nines.
he was in position.
Yeah, so that was just surprising. But it worked out really well for him, and of course he did end up winning the whole darn caboodle.
Yeah, the caboodle.
That's what they say.
I love me a good caboodle.
You need the right kind of cheese. All right, Joseph is apparently also wearing the loose shoes.
Joseph is loose today. He's having a loose day.
Joseph and Batiste.
Wonka will not play the 3 deuce off. We know that.
Batiste has a hand.
He will definitely play this hand.
He would play this even if he wasn't feeling loose.
Oh, yeah. This is a beautiful hand.
This is solidly in Batiste's small blind calling range for shiz.
You could 3-bet if Joseph was later positioned, but I think based on Joseph's +1 status, Batiste is feeling like there's not enough fold equity there. Although there
so.
would be against 7-4.
But that's fine.
Yep.
And
Well, Joseph outflops him. The question for Joseph is to bet or to check.
Look how dry this board is. This is as dry as it gets.
Betting, you get all the information you ever need on a dry board like this, but when you get called, it's not ideal.
Yeah.
At the same point, if you check, there's no real good cards for you. Although you do have backdoor diamonds, so
I mean, there's a few,
Yeah.
but most cards are going to not be fun to call 2 streets against. And when it comes to turn river or whatever they are. And so betting here is fine, I think. You usually have the best hand. But you do have to have a plan for if you get check raised on a board that dry.
Yeah, which is usually fold.
Yeah, unless you're up against someone who's going to be check raising a lot of dry boards, which
Yeah.
I don't know that anyone at this table is going to be doing that a whole lot.
Giant
Right.
whiff.
So I think, yeah, it's probably fold. With that hand, anyway, with middle pair, no kicker.
Should be who can show the lowest cards. He showed a 9. Rob's over here showing aces, so he's going to show a 4.
That'd be cool.
Showed an 8.
An hour bonus.
Give me a break.
Joseph is winning the showing the lowest card
Or
war. Andrew's going to be slightly loose with his open here.
Yeah.
King 9 suited +1, although we are 8-handed. And
Still.
Jake just folds the ace 8 suited.
Well, Wonka's
Wonka-
got something.
Wonka's probably going to 3-bet, and Andrew's probably going to fold because Andrew will realize this is near, if not the very bottom of his playability range from this position.
He's not going to want to play King 9 suited out of position against a 3-bet, especially a competent 3-betting range, which is absolutely what Wonka is. And I'm sure Andrew knows that or has already figured that out. Is my strong guess.
Yep.
Wonka looks like he's thinking about everything. Look how quickly Andrew folds.
Yeah, that one's over quickly.
All right, show a 3.
Show a 3, he says.
Oh.
You get to see a king, which has got to make Andrew feel fantastic.
Yep.
The thing you don't want to see there is an 8. Then you had overs.
So do we have to show one clock?
Nice cough. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
You get free info all the time.
Yeah,
Got
what's
him.
he doing?
Got him.
Okay.
No,
Hustle
he didn't
right
need
into
to
that
show.
king.
I could have told you that the other card is one of 2 cards.
Either a deuce or a 3. It's got to be.
Batista's probably
And if
right.
it's, like, if it's the ace, it's bottom of the range, and if it's the king, it's probably right about right.
Well, there you go.
Batiste needling Wonka in his tightness.
He will do that.
Some things never change, Jonathan.
Indeed. See, Brewer throws away the ace-9, even though he opened some other things from.
offsuit.
He opened Queen Jack off from under the gun.
Yeah,
Ace 9 off is way worse than Queen Jack off from in that position.
I don't agree.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. We have a fundamental disagreement about that for sure.
Is it really?
That's
Good.
what she was saying, yeah. When we were talking to her.
Hey,
He's
Batiste
going to
gets
win
to
it, and
with-
he's going to show at least one. Nope.
No,
I
he
was just
didn't.
after, it's pre-floppy. Doesn't have to
Oh,
show.
right. That's the rule.
Someone was saying that.
What are the good things that happen when you open Ace 9 off under the gun?
They call by Queen Jack.
Oh, they just tripped. It was chip change or something.
I mean, thinking about the.
I've done it already, but I don't want to.
I mean, nothing good happens when you open either one of those hands under the gun, really. There's very few good
I
things
feel
that
like more
happen.
good things happen with Queen Jack.
Really?
You make the nuts so much more often.
You
make
can make
you
the
make
nuts
a
more
good
often.
top pair so much more often.
I don't know if I agree with that so much.
Really?
Yeah.
You think if you get called in 2 spots and an Ace 4-4 board comes, you're happy with Ace 9 versus Jack 4-4 board with Queen Jack?
I think you, on those boards, you probably prefer the Queen Jack, but it's close. I think you get 3-bet with the better hands, a lot of bigger aces a lot of the time when you have Ace 9, so you know you're not in the hand a lot. When Queen Jack, like King Jacks are calling, King Queens are just calling. Even Ace Queens and Ace Jacks are sometimes just calling.
We're going to spend some time after this episode talking about this because I feel like I can easily convince you on this one. But
right.
we don't need to do it for the whole episode.
Fantastic.
So, Brewer's going to continue.
I certainly haven't thought about it until this exact moment, so maybe you could convince me, but that's where I'm at right now.
Batiste definitely not folding 9s. Well, now he's definitely not folding 9s on the turn.
Nope.
So it's a bad spot for Brewer, and I think he knows it. I think this is a shutdown card for sure against Batiste's calling range on the flop. Batiste often makes 2-pair or
He has
a pair and an
9-10,
open-ender,
or
something
even-
like that, yeah.
Even if he somehow has like Queen 9 suited or something like that, he got there.
I think this is just going to go check, and Batiste is going to get to win.
Yep, I think you're right. Batiste is going to be a little worried that he's losing to a 10 and not want to value himself here.
Ace high.
Batiste waiting to see the cards.
Very nice.
Okay.
See the face he gave him
Wow, wait.
on Ace High?
You can show or you can mug.
Yep, he's right.
I know. I was
See
waiting.
Show her
how-
muck.
I was waiting to beat Ace
See where you
5.
opening under the gun, man. You haven't played in months.
I thought it was king high, too. So.
Yeah.
It's an ace high.
When he says Ace High there, having opened under the gun, you expect the Ace King or Ace Queen.
You can
Yep,
mug.
so Batiste gets a little
I
bit
would
of
have to show one
information for the
card.
whole table.
Yep.
And it makes it a little tougher for a Brewer to be as loose as he wants to be when everyone knows he's doing that.
Say
even
ace
under the
high,
gun.
make him show the 9s.
Yeah.
So good.
No, because
Flip
I
over
won't roll it
kings.
over.
I know.
Oh yeah.
Jake almost had that right.
Yeah.
That's not true. Could never hate you, Robbie.
I appreciate that.
He could probably find a way to defend that though if given enough theory. It's a, it's a flat Earth joke.
I got it.
Fold, fold.
Nice hand for Batiste here.
Raise to 40.
Did I get the 10 bro?
Snuggy's going to get in there. He's
Yep.
got a 3-better call. Looks like a call.
It's a call.
Same thing,
As
please.
Brad has pretty much played nothing yet. Not that he's had anything to play.
He won the first hand with Queen Deuce.
He did.
Andrew with the same hand as
Need a
Batiste.
great goose in 7.
Fold.
And Snuggy's got a major advantage here because his opponents are sharing a hand.
Yep. And Batiste is not one to necessarily just fire away on all boards. So this may check
Slide.
through.
This is a reasonable board to continue on, even 3 ways.
Yeah.
There's not that much out there.
And indeed, it does check through. So this gives Snuggy a great chance to win on a lot of cards. Like right now, Snuggy, Andrew could actually steal this pot right here. But besides that, Snuggy's going to know.
Andrew
that
is
he's got the
going to
best
steal this pot. I think that's a great play.
hand. Yep.
When it checks through and the board pairs, usually neither of your opponents has anything. Maybe Batiste sometimes has 6s, 7s, 8s, but it seems like he's usually going to c-bet those.
70.
It's true. Pretty much no one has a 4 here. It's really hard for anyone to have a 4. Snuggy probably has the most 4s, actually.
But he would usually bet those on the flop.
He would. It's true.
Can you beat ace high?
When
No.
Andrew bets, it looks like Andrew's got a 10 or 9s or 8s or 7s himself, right?
Or a 4. He was in the big
small
blind.
blind.
Oh, he was
Small
in the
blind.
small blind.
Yeah,
Never
he doesn't
mind.
have-
He doesn't have. Maybe he's 4 suited.
Maybe 4 or 5 suited, but probably not either one
Yeah.
of those even.
It's more like Jack 10 suited.
Yeah. But he can easily have top pair.
Yeah.
It's your first day in the box, right, Brittany?
You know, it'd be a spot people could decide to put pressure on each other, and
First day
it
out.
could work pretty well.
Because
But
you
also,
don't
you
wanna
can just
make
fold.
your
It's not a big deal.
what's
Small
the-
pot.
what's the
Yeah.
conflict?
He heard me.
Trying to clarify the bet amount.
7P.
She was trying to
I'm
reduce the
not
call.
used to saying that. Folding it.
So far, Andrew's been a bit more involved than Brad as far as the
Flag
vlogger
off.
watch is
Hidden information
concerned.
here,
Vlogger watch.
like that.
Vlogger watch 2018.
We're going to do a movie.
Oh well, you guys both play.
Straight to VHS. VHS only.
And Brian plays.
Are we going to really do VHS,
Yeah, I
not
guess you're
Betamax?
right.
Dude, Betamax is way in the past now.
Yeah.
Get with the
but it's the
90s.
better one. It's better.
I
than
don't care.
VHS. Here's Wonka, under the gun.
Raised.
This is near the bottom of Wonka's under the gun range.
It is. In fact, I think it is the bottom. I
Yeah.
don't think he's opening King Jack off under the gun.
King Jack suited, he's opening.
Yeah.
It's questionable which
Yeah.
of those hands is better between King Queen off and
Okay.
King Jack
But they're
suited.
both at the bottom of the range
Yeah.
part of the,
Maybe sometimes he has King 10 suited there, depending on the table.
Jake has a hand he can defend with.
And it's a nice hand to defend with against an under the gun razor because it effectively protects your calling range here. At the same point, you don't have to put in a bunch of chips against a strong range.
Wonka's probably going to continue here when he's got the overs and the open ender, I would think.
And Jake's probably either going to call or check raise.
I expect him to call. Well, let's see what he does. Against Wonka's under the gun range. Look at the look he shoots him.
I swear I read something.
That looks like an I'm going to fold look,
Does
actually.
look like it, but no, Jake. No, Nitty by nature.
That's a little nitty.
The notorious Nit is back.
Okay.
Wonka shows a king.
I'm familiar with some of the casinos up there.
I could have kings, Jake.
You could have kings, could have ace king,
Like 7 or 8 tables.
could have king jack suited.
Yeah. The notorious NIT does it again, though.
Yeah, that was quite nitty.
That was pretty nitty. You got a draw to the nuts. You got overs. Your hand's a little under-repped. Maybe Jake's thinking things like if I hit my ace, I don't actually know where I am. I'm not really in great shape very often. Again, if I hit my ace and Nick continues to bet, Nick is of course Wonka,
You guys are
things like
getting
that.
big.
Which one did you guys like?
So maybe he thinks his implied odds aren't as great as they may appear.
I like sitting outside a 10 barrel.
In fact, if Jake hits his ace, it would be very bad for him.
Yeah, 10 barrel's got that cool pad.
That said,
Watch the homies.
it's a surprising fold.
Are you beer
How's your
snob?
blog going?
I don't know
Here
if I'd
we
say
go.
snob, but
You waited a half hour. That's good.
Part of it, I guess, is Wonka was under the gun. Gave a little more
Well, you know,
respect
you
to
gotta
that
check the
range.
boxes. Fold
Yeah.
the big blind. Now we're gonna talk about your blog.
All the classic.
5 breweries, yeah. It's pretty good work.
If you you go to Southeast, there's 5 and very
Oh, look at that, look at
proximity
that.
that are pretty interesting. Or 4 maybe.
Jake
Southeast.
Southeast Portland.
folding
yeah.
that 9 deuce suited
That
like
Cascade
it's
Barrel House is
the
cool.
most normal thing in the world.
Modern Times
And
has a
indeed,
brewery
indeed
here,
it is
too,
for a lot of
which is
players.
San Diego
Yeah.
Brew Bar.
Their beer's not very good.
Not for everyone at this
You're
table.
out of your mind. There's some really interesting stuff going on there.
There's a beer debate
like-
raging
If
now.
you like
Close
weird
to
beer,
Cascades,
There's 60 breweries in
close to Cascades is Culmination Brewing, which is a small brewery, but that's maybe the best beer in town right now.
Not a sponsor.
Like up down.
You can get drunk first.
which one?
Culmination.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that one.
Talk more about
There's
brands,
also,
guys.
like,
Go right
Base
ahead.
Camp, which is like whatever. Like, I don't really like the clientele, frankly.
Thank you.
He doesn't like the
You
clientele.
don't like the
Beer's all right.
clientele. That's why you don't like the brewery.
The clientele.
Wow, this is some barbs
That's why you don't
being
like the
thrown against
I just don't
certain
like going
breweries.
there. I like their beer.
Well,
I buy their beer.
The people, not the breweries. He likes the beer. He'll buy their beer.
Actually, okay. To be fair, for modern times, I've only had the beers that they distribute in cans.
Don't get.
couple.
They have
Remember
very
the
interesting
names?
like pony kegs. They brew stuff there too.
Okay.
It's
Last
the old
night.
common spot.
Brewers has the same hand he had in the cutoff last
I've had-
time, and
I've
he
had-
opened that
had a
time as well.
magical
Other
beer
time,
there.
Batiste defended with Deuce 3
The other
offsuit.
day. What is it? 30.
So I imagine Batiste will be defending whatever he has.
It happened all fucking day anyways, because you know Jake's only raising the nuts even on the button.
And
Might
some
as
more
well, you have the
trolling.
button twice in a row with those
Like,
two.
We'll eventually find out what Batiste has. So he has King 8, so he has bottom pair here.
What
Brewers
is
got
it?
top
Funny
pair.
hand. Brewers going to continue. I gotta believe we're
I
going to see a
know.
call out of Batiste most of the time.
We're definitely going to see a call.
Feels like nothing else makes sense but a call here. He's got 2 back doors as well.
Got anything?
I can't talk to you.
That is not a card Brewer wanted to see.
No one really wants to see that card.
Okay.
But Brewer being in position can just check it back and
Yep.
bluff catch most rivers really comfortably.
Ooh,
Wow.
Batiste gets there. He's got a value bet, right?
He has to value bet, and I think Brewer's going to have to call with the drawing nature of the board.
Yeah, Batiste could have Jack 9, King Queen, Queen Jack, King Jack. All of those hands are squarely in his range, even 7, 9.
Also clubs.
And clubs. Yeah, there's too many draws to fold
Have
here.
to call here. You're also chopping with some aces.
Oh, but look at the sizing. That might make him think a little bit. It's sized very small. Would Batiste bluff this size?
Well, Batiste might bluff this size if he thinks he's trying to get like a king high to fold. You know,
Yeah.
where he doesn't think he needs to. Figures an ace is going to call him anyway.
He's got to target aces as well, I think. Like
It's really hard to get an ace to fold.
I think
on
if
this board.
Batiste bluffs here, he's going pot.
I don't think Batiste is the kind of guy who's
You
going to
didn't wanna
target
talk
aces
to
on
me,
this
so
board.
I'm
right
not
now.
gonna talk to you.
Brewer makes
Wow.
a big time fold.
That is a game theory bad fold, but exploitatively, that was incredible.
That was, and Batiste shows him, I assume the king.
I would guess it's the king.
We never would show him the
I
eight if
am
he didn't
not
have
the
to, right?
Well, that was a good fold.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that was impressive. I don't think I would have done it.
There's just
I
so
would've called
many.
for sure.
There's
They
so
had
many
his
gut shots and
tier
open
on
enders
tap
that
the other
Batiste
day
can have
when
there,
we
and club
And
draws.
I bought.
And
two
while
four-pack
he's giving you a great
cans.
price, he's
I
also
love this
giving
summer.
you a great price. You know.
Well, maybe, but Brewer is more of an exploitative
Code
guy. And
Yes.
maybe he
saying,
really believes Batiste is
creature.
never bluffing with that sizing.
Yeah.
And he might be right.
It's called
I don't know.
Creature Times, and it was called Al Pastor. It had like a.
It may also
smoky
be a spot where he just thinks
pineapple
Batiste isn't bluffing
thing.
much.
It's amazing.
Period.
Yeah.
Forgetting about, even about the
Named after
sizing for a
smoked
second.
tongue?
There's also a
You know what
dynamic
Pastor
at
is?
play. Brewer calls Batiste down
taco
light
meat,
quite
right?
frequently
So
when
that's
they play,
lengua, but
and,
it's
and vice versa.
Pastor.
It's just the type. Wow.
It's
Looks like
I
Brad is
know I'm
open
white,
King
but
Queen
Pastor.
under the gun here.
Cool, cool.
Okay.
Fold, fold.
So it's a beer.
It's more.
Named-
Oh,
Yeah.
and Brad's first
You know,
action since the
whatever.
first hand, really, he's going to get some bad news here.
Well, he's only got 35 invested. It's fine.
Wonka
things
is,
happen all the
against
time.
an under the gun range, Wonka's definitely going to
Anyway,
3-bet.
Oh, yeah.
Get some chips in there.
I mean, the people behind him lose their minds all the time, whether you 3-bet or not. It's crazy not to
A
3-bet.
reason to call would be in case if it was
wanted
later in
to
the
talk about that
session and
later. It's really
Snuggie was
good.
deciding to
It's like
like
one of my
blast
favorite
off a
this
bit,
year.
he might be squeezing a lot there. That would be a
Where was
reason
it
to
again,
flat.
He might squeeze anyway, even when you
Yep.
3-bet it, though. We've seen him do it in the past.
Oh, look at this.
Collab
Brad
Wow.
is not folding. He's 4-betting.
Wow.
$400.
Okay.
Modern times. is
This
alright.
got interesting in a hurry.
He has what we call
All
significant
vegan
blockers to kings and queens.
I
He
don't eat there, I
does.
just
He's
drink.
hoping Wonka's doing this with his light side. Not
But,
this
like,
time.
again,
Wonka has 3-bet
dub,
frequently
like,
so
2
far.
dozen.
He's had it every time, but Brad hasn't seen
I'll be
that.
quiet.
So the question becomes for Wonka, do we want to call or do we want to re-raise here? Re-raising really puts you like aces and kings and maybe ace-king and maybe
Right.
queens.
If-
That's it.
If he 5-bets, he's only really going to get action from kings, I think, and queens will consider folding.
Ace-king and queens are going to have a tough spot. Kings are not going to ever fold.
So Wonka decides just to call.
I
and
like it.
I think that's a great idea.
In
because
position, I
if
like
Brad
it.
has something like jacks, Brad's going to continue on boards that
Right.
are favorable for both of your hands, and he's probably going to fold pre-flop if you 5-bet.
And look at the stack to pot ratio Wonka's setting up here, 1.5K with 800 in there. This is a great flop from Wonka's point of view, where he knows he's ahead still almost always against Brad's 4-betting range.
Yeah, it's hard for Brad to have quads or eights full here, and Brad does continue as he kind of has to.
Brad's praying Wonka has ace-king and goes away.
Or maybe some sort of light 3-bet that had to call because it was too good, like king jack suited, ace jack suited, something like that.
Maybe. Wonka's definitely not going to fold. The question for Wonka, again, is to call or to raise.
I think both are reasonable options. I think when you raise, you're kind of repping being a bad player with tens. Like that's kind of what you're repping when you raise. So
yeah.
if Brad knows that Wonka's good, I think you have to call. If Wonka believes that Brad knows nothing about him and thinks maybe he's a fish, then he can raise effectively and maybe get it against jacks.
He just moves in. So there you go.
So he's hoping Brad levels himself into thinking Wonka's a bad player, but
Right.
it doesn't matter because Brad has king high instead of jacks or tens or anything like that.
The truth is,
Which
from
are the
Brad's
aces
point of
that
view,
you
if he
show
knows
in this
Wonka
stuff?
is a thinking player at all, then Wonka always has sort of aces here.
Anyway, that's it for our first episode with Neeme and Owen. That's a pretty rough end for
Yeah.
Brad there, but we'll see how they do next week on Poker Time. We'll be back on Tuesday on the Poker Guys channel. And look at that. Wonka's having a good session already.
Brad, the big loser, and Andrew, the second biggest loser so far. They're funding the game, but it's early.
I've never seen it. I've never seen it in